What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm gonna get straight into it. Now, I'm gonna be doing two videos. The first video is just strictly on this main event of Ilia Topuria versus Charles Du Bronx Olivera. Guys, and then I'm gonna make a video probably right after this on the rest of the fights on this amazing International Fight Week card. With not that many fights on it, but we're not here to talk about Pantoja. We're not here to talk about the GOAT Joshua Van. We're not here to talk about the GOAT Hanato Moicano. We're here to talk about these two GOATs, Ilia Topuria and Charles Olivera. I have been pushing for this fight ever since Ilia Topuria wanted to move to lightweight. I actually have been wanting this fight more than Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria, because frankly, I never thought that the Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria fight was even that big to begin with. And a lot of these MMA fans, they've kind of hyped it up to be a huge thing. And I've always said, if you made the Ilia Topuria versus Charles Olivera fight and Ilia Topuria knocks out Charles Olivera, then the Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria fight is big. But we're not here to talk about the whole lore of everything. We're not here to talk about Islam Makhachev that much. He will be talked about, but we're here to talk about Ilia Topuria and Charles Olivera, how they will match up against each other. Now look at these. Okay, they don't have the odds, but Ilia Topuria is a big favorite here. In the fans' eyes, in everyone's eyes, and in the odds makers' eyes, but I don't see it that way. I still don't even have an official prediction. Probably at the end of this video, I will give my official prediction. But to start off with, Ilia Topuria, man, he's small. He's small for 155. I never thought he was even that huge for 145. They claimed that he was walking around at 185. Close to 190, apparently, to his camp. I don't believe that. I never believed that. Maybe he really was, but I don't really believe that. He's 5'7". That's really hard to be walking around at 185 looking like this at 5'7". It's hard to do that. And I never believed that. I believe he more walked around at 170, maybe 175. I believe Volk is probably bigger than him. But now he's bulked up. He left the 145 belt, went to 155. Islam vacated, wanted to go fight Jack Della Maddalena. And let's talk about Islam for a second. Apparently, Hunter Campbell convinced Islam Makhachev to vacate the belt. They didn't force him, apparently. But Hunter Campbell went there, convinced Islam to vacate the 155 belt so they can give the belt to the winner of Topuria versus Olivera, which they're hoping Topuria. And then they could eventually make that Islam fight. People are still calling Islam a duck. If you're calling Islam a duck, you could leave watching MMA. You could stop watching MMA because clearly there's a fly in my room. Bro. Clearly you don't know what you're talking about. Islam is not a duck for going up and fighting a harder opponent in Jack Della Maddalena. So, I don't know what you're talking about. He's chasing greatness. He's chasing legacy. Let him do that. I need to stop getting off track. Let's talk about this matchup. Ilia Topuria, the short, stocky guy with amazing, powerful hands at 145. Notice I said at 145. I'll bring that up later. Charles Olivera at 155. Amazing. Best jiu-jitsu you could probably get for MMA. Good striking. Power in his hands at 155. Knocked out Michael Chandler. Knocked down. Sent Justin Gaethje flying against the octagon. Knocked out Beneil Dariush with a head kick and some punches. He has serious knockout power. Charles Olivera, also a huge guy. If you look at him, he makes, everyone talks about Michael Chandler's huge, Joe Rogan, derided Michael Chandler, how big he is. Charles Olivera made Michael Chandler look small. Twice, Charles Olivera, his only losses in the last, say, 5 years or so, Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan. Now, here's the thing. I wish Arman Tsarukyan was fighting Ilia Topuria instead because he's the true number one contender, but I see why they made this matchup. They're mad at Arman. Makes sense. How they stack up against each other. Ilia, like I said, he's smaller, and I don't know if it's that good. I don't know. It's just not that good. Now, at 145, him being smaller has helped him, and the reason is because he's the best boxer in the UFC right now, easily. You know, I think it's pretty close between him and Jack Della Maddalena. I would say Ilya's probably the best, simply because how he punches. He punches like a boxer. He only throws hooks. His jabs are good. His straight rights are good, but he punches. He doesn't punch like MMA fighters. That's the thing. He punches like a boxer, and that's why he's able to get these knockouts. And he follows up. He trains. You guys seen that one clip of him talking about people in MMA? They train 1 2 1 2 3 4. But Ilia Topuria, he's like 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6. Bro, he keeps going with his shots. He'll follow up after he does a 1 2 1 2 3. He will follow up and keep moving with shots as you're moving backwards. He's good at tracking people against the cage. That's something, you know, Charles struggles with. If Charles is backed up, you know, that's not good. Now Charles Oliveira, man, I'm just gonna say it. Oh, hold on, let's talk about Topuria again. We don't know how his grappling is. We truly don't. Now, I've seen a bunch of people in these comment sections of every Ilya post, Charles post, saying how Ilya's grappling is on the same level as Charles Oliveira. There has been no situation in the UFC where Ilia Topuria has shown that. People hype up his grappling so much. He does have good grappling. You could clearly see in his fights, and just, you know, how his Greco-Roman wrestling. He's had good throws. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to grapple. I'm not saying he's bad at grappling. I'm saying he's good at grappling. But Charles Oliveira, his grappling is on a completely different level to everyone else's in the UFC, besides, you know, some other people. But, like, Charles Oliveira, his grappling is truly special. It is very good. His jiu-jitsu is so good. The way he's able to manipulate people with his legs. And as of recent, Charles Oliveira, his wrestling has gotten way better. Now, if you go to Ilia Topuria, he hasn't fought grapplers. The only two grapplers he fought, Ryan Hall. You know, Ryan Hall's a dumbass. We all saw what happened with that. And Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell took Ilia Topuria down and controlled him. Now, Ilia Topuria did very good there. He came back in that fight, reversed positions on Bryce Mitchell, and took him down. But he still got taken down and controlled by Bryce Mitchell at 145. And one thing we got to take into consideration, Charles Oliveira is much bigger, and I believe he's going to be able to take Ilia down. Now, here's the thing: the striking I want to talk about. Actually, no, focus on the grappling first. Charles's wrestling, that last Michael Chandler fight, was very good. It looked very improved. I'm talking about his wrestling, not his jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about his wrestling. His shots in that fight looked very good. And, you know, I see if he goes in there and shoots on Ilia Topuria like that, I don't see Ilia actually defending. He's short, which it can be harder to take down a shorter guy, but I think that works in advantage to Charles, being that he could get around you with jiu-jitsu. He'll hold a body lock. Now, if you want to mess with body locks with Topuria, good luck. You know, that's a hard position to go 50-50 with Topuria. That's not a good position. I don't think Olivera would want to do that. But if he could get in on Topuria's legs, I believe he can take down Topuria. People are saying this like an easy fight for Topuria. Topuria is gonna easily shuck off Charles's takedowns, and he's on the same level as grappling. I don't know where anyone has got that from. Charles is bigger, man. He's much bigger, and these recent photos came out of Ilia Topuria standing beside Raul Roses Jr., a 135er. You know, the 21-year-old, the 20-year-old. And Raul Roses Jr. was bigger. He was taller, he was bigger. And then Olivera standing next to Mr. Chiwiwis. Olivera was bigger as the same. I think Olivera is going to be much bigger here. And I think Ilia is going to struggle with that. And I don't know if I can trust his grappling, because we haven't seen him against a grappler yet. Look at Max Holloway, obviously not a grappler. Now, one thing about Topuria is he took down Max Holloway. He didn't keep him down, but I don't think he tried to keep him down, to be fair. I think he just wanted to put that idea in Max's head that, hey, I can take you down if I want. Topuria is a good grappler, man. He's a really good grappler. His wrestling's Greco-Roman wrestling, no joke. Judo and like just upper body throws. It's good. Actually, I don't know if Topuria's judo is that good, but his Greco-Roman wrestling is good. Apparently, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt too. He knows how to grapple, but a lot of people know how to grapple, man, and a lot of people have been grappling all their lives and have still lost to Charles Oliveira in the grappling department. Look at Armin Sarukian. Look, I know Armin won that fight and had more of the control time. Uh, Sorry, and had more of the control time in that fight, but Charles Oliveira jumping guillotine on Armin Sarukian, getting top position. Uh, Later in that fight, reversing position while I think they were trying to get up, almost getting a Darce on Armin Sarukian. Charles Oliveira against Michael Chandler. Who has ever done that to Michael Chandler? Grappled and dominated Michael Chandler like Paddy Pimblett did, to be fair, yeah. Paddy Pimblett did. But Paddy Pimblett's also a good grappler, man. He's also really big too. I think the grappling is such a big problem for Topuria, and we haven't seen the grappling, man. We haven't seen the grappling from Topuria. We have, but we haven't seen the grappling to where it's like, oh, he's for sure gonna shuck off Charles's takedown. He might even submit to Charles Oliveira. You know, that's pretty crazy. Like that, people just like throw that out there that Topuria is easily gonna be able to, shuck off his takedowns, knock Oliveira on the feet. Now let's talk about on the feet, man. I've been hearing a lot of things that Oliveira's chinny. Name the last time he's been knocked out. I'm waiting for you to do that. You can't. Because all you guys cannot remember the last time Charles Oliveira has been knocked out. Was it I think it was back when he was at 145. When he was, a little pussycat, at 145. But whatever, man. Now, I know what you're going to say. Charles Oliveira has been knocked down and almost finished in every single one of his fights. Yes. Now, that's a problem, man. If Topuria connects, almost finishes Oliveira, he's not going to almost finish Oliveira. He's going to finish Oliveira. Because his boxing is so good. Now, here's the thing. Charles is a threat to Topuria on the feet, too. I got to mention the size again. He's much bigger, man. Now, we've seen Topuria against taller people like Jai Herbert. That was a good performance by Topuria. A lot of people were clowning on Topuria for getting knocked down with that kick. It was a really good kick. Anyone would get knocked down by that kick. He just got caught off guard. Jai Herbert, he's a good striker. I don't know what happened to him now, but at that time, he's a good dynamic striker. I don't blame Topuria there. And then Topuria came back, sent Jai Herbert into the shadow realm. One of the best knockouts ever, I think, in my opinion. God, it's so late. Charles Oliveira, he has knockout power, man. Look what he did to Beneil Dariush, man. Look what he did to, Chandler in a lot of situations. Look what he did to Justin Gaethje. I think he fucked with Poirier on the feet too. He has power in his hands. His kicks are very good too. They're powerful, they're good. Now here's the thing, I don't like Oliveira's kind of like, where he has his left knee kind of twitching up before the kind of in a Muay Thai style. He's going up in high guard. Bro, Topuria's gonna, Topuria's just gonna hook around that, man, and expose that guard, I think. But Oliveira has things to offer back. If they get into a trade-off here, who's to say Oliveira doesn't chin Topuria? Who's to say Oliveira's jab actually could be a problem for Topuria? He has a 5-inch reach advantage, and also leg 4-inch reach advantage too. He's 5'10" to 5'7", That is a big difference. And yeah, I think you guys will see during the face-offs, the press conferences, that Oliveira will be much bigger. Also, I saw a lot of people say Topuria is easily going to back up Oliveira. Show us a clip of someone easily backing up Oliveira. It's hard to do that, man. Oliveira pushes the pace. We know this is going to be a war. Not necessarily a war. It could end pretty soon, which I actually do think it will end in the first 2-3 rounds. but it's gonna be a scrap. We know it's probably gonna be finished, and if it isn't a finish somehow, it's gonna be a war. It's not gonna be a boring fight in any way. I don't see this matchup being boring in any way. Now here's the thing: there could be a lot of clinching, and I mean a lot. Like Olivera shoots, maybe Topuria stuffs a takedown. Olivera is gonna push his hips against his chest against Topuria against the cage. He's gonna try to take him down from there. There's gonna be some clinching. That's where I do worry about Olivera a little bit with Topuria's Greco-Roman wrestling, man. That could be a problem. But I think Olivera is experienced enough to where he's gonna be the one, pushing the pace, at least with the grappling department. He's gonna be pushing Topuria back every time they go for a takedown. Every time they're in a grappling exchange. I think Olivera is really strong too. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going with Olivera. I think he's gonna submit Ilia Topuria. And not expose the grappling, but show people a reality of, hey, you cannot choose someone, say their grappling's good just because they say it's good, and they have a couple highlights. I'm going to go with Olivera submitting Ilia Topuria. I don't care. I believe he's going to submit Ilia Topuria. We have not seen any grappling from Ilia Topuria. The one time we saw him face grapplers, he got taken down and controlled. Charles Olivera is going to beat Ilia Topuria probably in the first or second round. And it's not even that bad to say that Charles Olivera could even rock Topuria on the feet. I'm going with Charles Olivera. Mid-second round submission. I believe he's going to sub Topuria. I really do. I think he's too big. I think his grappling's too good. His wrestling has improved recently in the Chandler fight. His shots were so good. His wrestling was very good. Olivera is going to beat Ilia Topuria. I think he's going to submit him. And even if he doesn't submit him in the first two, I believe he still wins a decision. He could win a decision in the grappling department, stalling. I don't think Topuria's grappling is going to be so good to where, like, we haven't seen him grapple, man. And I'm not going to trust everyone saying his grappling's on Olivera's level, because it's not. Whose grappling is on Olivera's level? Islam Makhachev and Armin Tsarukyan. What would happen if Topuria versus Armin Tsarukyan? I think Armin Tsarukyan probably mauls Topuria. What would happen if he versus Islam? Islam mauls Topuria. Now, here's the thing. I am a Topuria fan more than an Olivera fan. I want Topuria to win this. I think that works out better. I think it adds to his legacy. And I really do want Topuria to win this. He could go out there and chin Olivera in one. He really could. But I don't see him doing anything in the grappling department. I pray to God that Charles Olivera, though, goes out there to win and not fight. If you know what I mean. Obviously, he's going out there to fight, but I pray he goes out there with a game plan of, hey, he knows he can't rock with Topuria on the feet, which I think he can, but he knows he can't rock with Topuria on the feet for long, and it's too risky. I'm gonna shoot a takedown in the first minute, and I hope Charles Olivera does that. I think maybe he feels Topuria's power gets chinned a little bit. He's like, okay, maybe I need to shoot. I think he submits Ilia Topuria in the second round. Come back to this video when he does, and the timeline's broken, and Ilia Topuria goes back down to 145. I really hope Ilia Topuria wins, but I believe Charles Olivera is going to submit him. I really believe he is. And I think people are underrating Charles Olivera here. They're underestimating Charles Olivera. Ilia Topuria will get submitted by Charles Olivera. I hope he knocks out Olivera. But in my heart, I see Olivera being too big. I see his shots being too good. I see his wrestling being too good. And I think if he should come in with a good game plan of just shooting right away. Which he should, right? If he does, he will win. I believe Olivera submits Topuria in 2. Guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment whatever you want. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. I really want to hear both Topuria and Olivera fans. I really want Topuria to win this. But I got Charles, man. I really do. But I would still bet on Topuria, though, honestly. I would still bet on Topuria. But I think Charles Olivera is too big for him, and I think his grappling is going to be too much. I think he submits Ilia Topuria. With what choke, though? I think with the arm triangle. I think he gets Topuria with the arm triangle. The reason being is if he gets in Topuria's guard, I believe he could pass Topuria's guard. And if he gets on mount, I don't think he ground and pounds much. Here's the thing. Charles Olivera has really good elbows, though. he could slice open Topuria on the ground. But I believe Topuria's body is going to be too small to necessarily defend Olivera passing his guard and getting onto side control. I think you need longer legs to really, do that. Stop Olivera from doing that. And I think Olivera submits him. Ilia Topuria with a triangle choke. Yeah, just like kind of in a similar way to Makhachev did to Olivera. Except without the knockdown. I think Olivera shoots on Topuria, gets that position, and I believe he submits Topuria in two. Guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment whatever you want. Just subscribe to me, like, man, do whatever you want. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this, and peace out.